and welcome. We are hosq, very happy to host this evening. We do believe in the crossroad of art, technology, science, and we think that the perfect slot for it is Armenia. And now there is happening this notation laboratory here in Philharmonia all over, and keep an eye because on August 2nd and 3rd we are going to have our final showcases of the multidisciplinary projects born in during laboratory, and our starting point is Davit Symphony number 3. So it's really very inspiring process. So August 2nd and 3rd, mark your calendars. But before that, we are more than happy to have this conversation with Davit. And I guess everyone who sits here, they know you. Maybe a couple of them, they don't. But I mean, besides of to being like this trailblazer in the electronic music sphere, having this idea of cyberfolk. And I think today, as I know, we will have this interactive way of speaking and and we call it like a lecture, but we better call it like a dialogue. So yeah, something like this. So let's applause to Davit and let him start. We are going to have also Q&A, but also it's free to ask during. So the only thing that we have a video recording, because later on we will also put this available online with Armenian subtitles and so on. But today we will keep the conversation in English. Yep. Thank you, Davit Can.
Thank you as well. Firstly, let me thank you, hosq, for inviting me to here. It's really amazing and feels really great to share what I'm going to share today. Yeah, as mentioned, I'm Davit, and welcome to the Other Sounds. Now, imagine a folk recording transforming into something else. Just imagine for a minute. It opens a whole new perspectives, and as an idea, it organically came in, as it's been 2 months since I'm participating and recording a symphony for Arto Tunçbajan. He's the composer of the symphony, so I'm doing all the arrangement works, recording, mixing, and all the stuff. And also Cyberfolk, let's move forward. The cyberfolk mindset, I will call, in the other words, also the movement, and I hope so that it will become a movement, is when we connect the dots in between the traditional grounded arts with the current technology and science. So this is a really common thing in between hosq and cyberfolk, and that's one of the main motivations that I'm here. Like, it super feels great. And originally, this name came in 3 years ago when me and Arto were hanging out with our families in Sevan at his residency there. And he told that we were doing music together for 5 years now, maybe. And he asked me, what's the genre of our music that we are doing together? And we're like, cyberfolk. You are the Mr. Avant-garde folk music, so you are the Mr. Folk. And somehow I'm always in the tech. I'm the electronic music head, I'm the techno head, so I was the cyber. And this mindset, imagine a tribal man or women who is half naked somehow, with some leaves all over his body, with a cyber head full of technologies. I believe that's the future. And I don't believe that the future is only technology. We should be grounded as hell to move it forward the way it should be done. And yeah, I'm Davit, and I have passed a long way to this point, from working in the clubs, from years locked in studio, to opening Polygraph, running a full techno club, and then I'm back into exploration and storytelling, which I love the most, into empowering artists, as in Cyberfolk we are now creating tools, lots of tools, which we hope that empower artists and will make music much more accessible, which is cool nowadays because it's already accessible, and the learning process overall should be even more accessible, I believe. And yeah, what we'll do today. First, we will understand what are the source materials that we are going to use in order to create these new so-called digital instruments. And in this particular case, what I have already recorded is, as you can read here, are woodwind instruments, duduk, belul, baku. Also there is a zurna sound, I guess. Also there are some string sounds. Ashot, where is Ashot? He also contributed with some sounds with his tar. Also, the greatest. Arto told me that it's tar somehow, so I fixed it. Okay, kamancha. Sorry. Okay, I don't mind. Some cello sounds by the greatest Joe. Plucked sounds as canon. Arto's percussion and his voices as well. And most importantly, we are going to look at these technologies, especially granular synthesis and granular post-processing effects, like audio effects, not only synthesis in this case, spectral synthesis, also spectral effects, wavetable synthesis, and some more modulation or processing effects based on wavetables, and some other sampling techniques. And I hope you will enjoy. And as Shohakat mentioned, feel free to interrupt me at any point. We will also play a game, a small one, and then first I will present the sounds, I will show you the tools that we are going to explore today, and then we will play the game, and in the end we will build some sounds all together, and I will wait for your suggestions in the process. So let's go. What's this? Okay, so we are inside Ableton Live. Let me try to make a sound out of it and to see if it's too loud or no. I will play. I think it's all good. Okay, so what we have here are this first channel is full of percussive sounds like snare sounds from Arto. And he's playing this with hands, not with sticks. This is really important. We have a few ones, so we will see how to use these recordings to create some sort of instruments. And then he also played some cowbell sounds, also with hands, like this, or like this. Then we have really, really interesting sounds coming from his cymbals, and it's not the cymbals that you play with sticks. It's a set of cymbals connected with a wire which resonates heavily, and this is super useful when creating different sounds. So they sound like this. And many variations, and by the way, I didn't bring the sound, but when you stack these cymbals and tune them, that's crazy what you get out of it. So maybe we'll do it if we have time. Then I have some crazy vocal shots from Arto, like this. I think it's too loud. On my side, maybe. Or like this. Or like this. So we are gonna use this as well. And then we have lots of woodwinds, like come on. Usual one. Some zurna, which is really loud. A blue sound, which is my personal favorite. And the super loud or super high-pitched baku. This is crazy for creating horror sounds, believe me. It works great. Then we have, let me rename this. Kamancha. That's not Miash, that's Arto. And we have some really nice notes from Hashot. Like this or like this. Then some sounds from cello. Let me fix something. I think I totally forgot. Yes. What's this? I like it. And then some small shots that I cut out of a recording. This wasn't specially recorded for me. The canon sounds. Like this. And then, now let's see what are the tools that we are going to explore today. And firstly, we have the most common thing when you use recordings is the samplers. By the way, I want to ask, please raise your hands if you are doing music production, please. I want to see it. Okay. And please raise your hands if you are using Ableton Live. Yeah, that's pretty much good. Many people do it. I think it's 50-50. Everybody uses Ableton Live, I guess. Only a few hands disappeared. So yeah, we are going to look into the simplest but the greatest simpler with its slice mode, because it works really great when working with rhythmical elements such as percussive lines. And it works unexpectedly good when mixed with spectral resonator, one of my most favorite things ever. And you will see why a bit later. The next is the granulator third edition, which is a granular effect. And it's also a sampler. And if you are new to this, it works based on small grains, the chunks of audio. Instead of like playing the audio from the points that you selected, it plays multiple small chunks of the audio, and it makes things really interesting and weird and deep and whatnot. Yeah, and we will combine. Actually, we will mess around with the effects what used where, but I just put it next to it, this pitch loop 89, which is a granular processing effect, some sort of delay. And I won't explain how it works now, but it's a great one. And it's, I think they're a pair and released together. And if you haven't got them and you own the suite, Ableton Live Suite, you can download it from the website because it's not coming just by installing. Next, we have something interesting created by maybe my favorite Max4Live developer. By the way, who is familiar with Max4Live? Not many. Okay, so the fun fact is that Ableton Live was coded, developed using the multimedia programming language called Max. And then many years later, Ableton acquired Max. And now we have Max4Live coming with Max. And this is some sort of development language as well as like this modular environment when you can create your own instruments. And I'm now obsessed with these instruments, and I successfully created the prototype of my first instrument, which I'm happy with. Okay. And yeah, here I have really interesting instrument that's called Pathways. It's created by Dylan Baston. This guy is super crazy. This is spectral and granular instrument at the same time. And you basically draw passes or shapes, and it plays these shapes back in various ways, and you get some super crazy results, and we will see in a bit. Then we have another instrument by this guy. It's called Iota, and it's also a spectral instrument. Then it's paired with Pichak. This Pichak is also included in Ableton Live Suite, but it also you need to download this thing called Creative Producer Tools or something like this. I don't remember exactly. And it's a super cool granular delay, but super simple. You can see that there are only a few controls over here in this Pichak. And then we have, we are going out of Ableton. Firstly, we have Serum, second edition, because they created the best ever spectral engine and super good sounding granular engine, and I will showcase it to you as well. And it's paired with my recent favorite tool called Beam is the best looking plugin ever in my entire life I've seen. You will see yourself. Look, wow. It's a modular environment as well, so you connect dots, you can do many things that we did, but I like it because it's also granular. I'm obsessed with granular things, to be honest, so we will explore it as well. Let me bring it to its initial. And then we have the mightiest synth ever. It's not the mightiest, but it's my favorite one maybe. It's called Faceplant. This is semi-modular environment where you have granular engines, you have wavetables, and I especially love how many types of wavetables are inside Faceplant, because you have these LFO tables, which are modulators based on wavetables. You have filter tables, which are filters based on wavetables, which is sounding weird, but it works super great. And you have a great wavetable editor with many functions, so we will explore how to use this in the context of these other sounds and using these sounds to create the sounds. And then lastly, what we have here is another great tool, and this is another technology. This thing is called Cyclop, and it's also another new way. I don't know how they exactly called. It's by Davsum or Dawsum, and it's also based on two different resynthesis algorithms. So again, you drag and drop a sample, and then you do crazy things with it and create instruments and whatnot. And yeah, this is a free device, by the way, this Cyclop, so you can download it for free. And it has this bigger brother or sister with two engines at the same time, but this one works great, believe me. And yeah, that's it. This was the introduction, and now we jump into another project. Ah, yeah, I forgot this strange mod. And the Cyclop is paired with grain delay. I think all of Ableton Live users know grain delay, but I love this strange mod a lot. This is also a modulator created by Dylan Boston. It's a modulator based on various chaos algorithms that provide you X, Y, Z axis at the same time. So you can easily modulate this type of X, Y things, or if it has X, Y, Z things, with just one algorithm, which works super cool. And you will see just with the example of grain delay how this works. And yeah, before jumping in back to this project where we all together we create some sounds, I want to showcase you project that I built, I think, in an hour or so, just for the sake of this workshop. And we will play a game. Overall, the aim of this workshop is not to teach you, but to inspire you. Because the main topic of this thing is there is infinite possibilities to create new sounds based on the legacy of the instruments, of the sounds we have been listening for centuries, and even the sounds that are surrounding us in our lifetime, coming from table, coming from the walls, coming from the air, coming from the water, and everything else. And when they tell me that the technology is killing everything, it's like, come on. Technology is multiplying the possibilities to create new sounds, and we are on this shift. And I believe this is something that will become a movement. When I mentioned that Cyberfolk is a movement, it's all about this. It's nothing about the brand. It's nothing about us. It's about this process when this legacy of sounds coming from centuries will multiply infinite times and will create tons more sounds, and you will see why in just a bit. So now I have this project here, and I will open the channels one by one and will tell you how things were created. So firstly, you remember these snare sounds from Arto? Yeah, this is a simple sampling techniques because there can't be a movement without a kick drum. So I created a kick drum from a sample. Snare sample, of course, because I didn't have a kick drum. So it sounds like this, nothing fancy. What I did is pitch down and a small or not so small amount of pitch envelope. If you know what's pitch envelope, you just make the sounds, the pitch of the sound super high, and in between like 20, 30, 40, 50 milliseconds, it drops down, so it creates this punch, and then you have the bass. That's it, easy as hell. And then I have this snare sound processed with the spectral resonator. So I told you that spectral resonator works super great with rhythmical elements. So let's check it out, how it sounds. I will even solo this. So, can you hear the snare sound? This resonator is super cool. Why it's cool? Firstly, it has the scale awareness. So once you select your scale of the project, then it's scale aware and it does sync crazily. And what you can do here, you can do many things. It has many algorithms, but simply it's still expressive based on how the drums were played. And also you can make it even more expressive just simply playing with the decay. It's coming. It's working. And you can play with unison. You hear it? And the fun fact that I recorded a portion of. I will go back. No unison needed for this one. And I recorded this trick accidentally. We were recording my album last year and I invited Arto to collaborate in a few tracks, and somehow we misunderstood each other and he came without his snare, without an instrument, and we're like, Arto, where is your instrument? You should play on it. And we're like, I forgot. And then we end up that he played on a table sounds that was processed heavily with spectral resonators and lots of saturators and whatnot. And the fun fact is that this sound was requested by a composer who acts in Hollywood. Really, I don't remember his name. I think it's Brian Kane or something. And basically, he requested Arto to play some instruments in his recent symphony, and he also requested this table sound to be there, and was like, okay, that's fun. Yeah. Next we have drums with pathways. You remember the pathway sound? So it's again the snare, but with the help of the spectral instrument. It's become completely smashed, noisy, but still it has this rhythmical vibe and groove, which is super cool. And I can even show you how this worked. You see? I will just make it even bigger. So now I should stop because I explained how the granular works, but I didn't tell anything about spectral engines. So what's this, you may ask? There is a thing called FFT, or fast Fourier transform, and this technology basically converts a waveform from time domain into an image of spectral information, and then you play basically your sounds from this image, which later basically is being processed by the opposite of the FFT. I think it's called reversed FFT. Yes, Nar? Huh? Inverse FFT. Okay, that's cool. And it becomes an audio as well. So this technology basically has many advantages, and one of the main ones, when you play a sample at a speed, it changes the pitch of the sound depending on the speed. If it's an original speed, it's the same pitch as the sample. But if you play it slower, the samples pitch down. And the opposite, if you play it faster, it goes up. Inside spectral engines, there is no such thing that pitch changing based on the speed or something, because it plays from the image, not the waveform, which is super cool. And this thing opens up so many great possibilities, and we will see. Tip of the iceberg, but still it will work. And then I created some textures, basically spectrals work extremely good when you create textures, drones, whatever, because you can slide the playback extremely slow. So just maybe 1 second sample can become a minute of a thing with the same pitch, but more sounding drone-ish, grainy, and yeah, it works great. But not only, you can create anything with spectral. And this one is also processed by a spectral effect. It's called spectral time. It's basically a spectral delay. And then, now, let's guess the sounds. We will start with the easy ones. I will stop it for now. So I will play it, and then again you can read it. This one is sliced granular. We will start with the easiest guess, and we will further with more interesting stuff. So whoever just has an idea what's the original sound inside, please raise your hand. This is super easy.
Violin?
No.
Cello?
No. Canon. Arshad was right. Yeah, this was the easiest. This was the Canon sample, the exact one that we heard before. It's inside the serum. And one of the craziest and interesting stuff. So I hope you know what this sliced sampler knows. So you use a sample engine, and when you put a loop in it, it basically slices it into chunks of audio, which you can play starting from one note. So let's say, let me put it on the right channel now. So when I see one, and I think it's on arpeggio now, so that's why it doesn't work. You see, it plays a certain slice, and if I go an octave down, where is this? Okay, it's here. Now I'm playing a different position. But the fun fact in Serum is that this sliced function is coming with granular engine as well as spectral engine, which changed the whole perspective. So basically you can put a loop in, put this into slices, so cut it into slices, and then with the help of arpeggio, let's say, or even playing manually some notes, you have different chunks playing in a granular way, not just the usual sampling method. So it sounds like this. And it's paired with beam, with some granular grain delay and reverb. And because I turned on the arpeggio, which is on random, so it's basically tuned so it starts playing from C1 to a few notes higher, so in a random way. So every time we hear a different chunk. So in context of the track, you hear some sort of generative sound that does not repeat itself all the time. Let's hear it with the other sounds. It becomes cinematic something. You hear even it makes some crazy sounds because the granular engine can do crazy things at once. Let's move forward now. Again, guess the sound. There is a hint. I will slightly pitch it high. Ah, no, it should work like now. It works. No ideas? Yes, that was right. Somehow it sounds like a choir or like core. And yes, it's a pair of duduk, one running on spectral engine, and the other is running on granular engine. So, and if I play higher notes, the things become different. It's still, there is a thing that I keep always on mind. There should be some respect towards the original sounds, and I'm tending to keep their feel somehow, yet to bring some new layers and new different vibes out of it. So yeah, by the way, this is one of the first sounds that I created. It's called the other duduk pad. And even if I go higher with octaves, it's still cool. You still feel this folk vibe, this grounded, but it sounds unlike anything else. The thing is also, this modern synthesizer has much more than just these oscillators or different types of engines. Who knows what is FM synthesis? Nobody else? Really? So FM stands for frequency modulation. Imagine you have a sound and you change its pitch, the frequency of it. So like, it goes up or down. This is called frequency modulation. But when you do this frequency modulation really with fast rates, which is called audio rate modulation, like imagine modulating the pitch of the sound 1,000 times in 1 second. It's quite much. But inside synthesis, it brings some crazy nice harmonics to any sound. So what I'm doing all the time, I add FM crossroads from one sound to the other. So this way now, my granular engine frequency modulates the spectral engine. Sorry. I still need to learn the sound. And if I make it low more, you see it becomes noisy due to this FM. If I turn it down, it's less, but it still has this interesting vibe. And this is now, by the way, only spectral engine running now. And you are seeing the playback. So right now, I'm randomly coming from maybe, which one? I think this one. You see, this thing, which is like randomly in a chaotic way goes in rounds, modulate the position of our playback inside spectral, and no matter if it's fast or slow, it still goes back and right and left and create different variations of sound that doesn't repeat itself. And if combined to the same thing with granular, they become richer and much more interesting. Let's hear it in the context with the other sounds. They somehow work together. Aha, now more interesting sounds are coming over. For this one, I think I will start with this one and maybe later we go to that one. So guess the sound. Not to wait it a long time. Canon was still playing somehow. No. It sounds like a train, I know, obviously, but no. No. No.
One more time.
One more time. No. Huh? No. No. That's you. That's Kamancha. I can show you the original sample. That's super interesting because when he plays Kamancha, he doesn't play chords, right? But when you stack these sounds together, it becomes something else. And when you use it in spectral engine like I did just a bit ago, it becomes even more different. So let me load to do the, where is this? It should be from here. All right, click. Show sampling, find them. So it is this sound. you could recognize the very first part of it that became this train sound when stuck in a chord. That's crazy, but it's simple as hell. I didn't do anything, maybe just the convolution reverb on it, so it becomes a bit more in space. And again, let's hear in the context. Actually, I will do like this, so it won't play this one. Now we have the train passing by in the key of our tune, which is cool. But if I play longer the notes, and it's high pitch now, it's different. And if I go like this, it doesn't sound much like Kamancha, but when you know it, and again the train passed again, some connections and lines start to come in, and you see like, this is again another example that there is so much to explore on what we have, based on what we have. And I'm not mentioning technologies that synthesize from scratch. I'm mentioning that the sounds surrounding us has so much more to give us yet. Then I think this is another example. And by the way, this Gueswat is now not this resynthesizing technology. It's based on wavetables that I created with the help of a sound. Try to guess. It's a hard one, but no ideas. No. The hint was that this is a wavetable technology. So what I did in this case, I extracted Arto's voice and make a synthesizer based on his waveform, based on the waveform of his voice. So if I open it, we will see just the waveform, but this is Arto's throating samples that we heard. And because this technology, it's basically radically changed the sound. So it's another way. So when you are stuck when producing and want to create sounds, just drag and drop samples into wavetable. And it works great all the time. And it can be really unexpected. But here, the fun fact is that you can use inside Faceplant these wavetables as filters. Basically, this device called filter table converts the spectral domain of your waveform into a filter. And then you apply this filter, and then you can modulate different chunks of your wavetable as filters inside the sound. It sounds a bit like weird, but believe me, I think this tool came in only last year. This is one of the recent things that happen in technology. This is like completely new, and I think this is the very first device ever. And they also have this modulator called LFO table. So basically, Arto's voice, which is being modulated, now serves this as this. You see, the small dot is going up and down, and it's changing the position of the other wavetable here. So every time the new note is incoming, it's slightly different. And also this filter table changed this. So if I turn this off, it's not so pleasant at all, but we have this crazy filter shape which is connected to a note modulator. Basically, based on what note is incoming, it changes position. So every note has a frequency. Like the third octave A note is 440 Hertz, which is this universal tuning Hertz. So every instruments are tuned like this. Mostly every instrument. Some people experiment with lower frequencies and so on. But yes, you can tune the position of your filter table inside Faceplant to be modulated by incoming notes. And these can be polyphonic. So if I play a chord, it basically will stack this filter table into a few instances. So each note has its own filter value. This is huge in terms of sound design. And yeah, you can create many interesting things like this. And again, there is no need to draw wavetable. There is no need. You find a shallow sample that sounds interesting to you, try to drop it into a wavetable. Even Ableton Live's native wavetable easily converts your sample into waveforms, and then you can start messing around with different effects, modulation, and whatnot. Then I think we have this, and yeah, altogether they sound like this.
Number 7 is out.
Ah, okay. Yeah, this was the canon sound that makes noise. We have last two sounds and then we will start to do, I think I'm running late a bit, or no? Next one. Wes, what's the sound? No, no. No. Huh? No, it's not you this time. No. A hint, it's a percussion one. Percussive, I would say. Cymbal, right. That's the cymbal sound. And again, granulars, two of granulars. And I think this is the, you see, it's every time I hit a note, it's on a random position. And I think, no, I don't have much done here. And I created a wavetable based on the cymbal sound in order to use it as a frequency modulator source. And again, here you can see that it's this time it's amplitude modulation. So it's something similar to frequency modulation, but now with the audio rate of this wavetable, we modulate the amplitude of those cymbals and it makes it like this. You see, you still hear the feel, but when I turn this on, you hear this much lower frequencies joining all together and becoming a fuller sound. Another wonder of this audio rate modulation, by the way, it's a new thing, and you don't have it coming right now inside Ableton Live. There is no way to do this, but tools like Serum are changing this in a good way. So this instrument basically that came in this year, the second edition of Serum, you basically can modulate whatever you want with audio rate of anything. So I can say, let's say, I can modulate the level of the second granulator with the audio rate of the first granulator. At first it sounds strange, but I can simply drag and drop this to here. And it will be right now super maybe, no, it will become noisier maybe. You see the small blue button here? It becomes like, and this makes sound so strange but so beautiful at the same time. I will show you in a different example maybe. Yeah, I think we have the only last sound left. I will be quick, so no, we will hear this in context with the next one as well. So guess the sound. Huh? It's not Arto this time, unfortunately. It's not my voice. Huh? Exactly! This is Dodo. So, there is a thing called envelope generator. So basically every instrument, a digital instrument, has its envelope. Envelope is the shape of the sound. So at the first millisecond, it comes in at this level and then it goes down and like this. So when you make your envelope like this super sharp, the sound becomes percussive. And again, with the help of frequency modulation and audio rate modulation, you completely can transform sounds into something else. And what I did, I have a simple sine wave that acts as a modulator for a spectral engine and for a granular engine. Both are running or duduk samples. So I paired it with arpeggio, again running, it's not random this time, it's just, so it gives this rhythmic vibe, so it's just one note played. So I think, yeah, it's just one play, nothing fancy here going on, but without FM. Let me turn all. I think this one as well. Now we hear duduk samples just with the help of this envelope. I think there is something in effects as well. No, nothing. And also the filter is doing much here. But only this envelope transforms a woodwind sound into a percussive sound easily. You have these digital technologies with your how is the word? You have the digital technologies to create these type of things easily, and the sound, when it changes shape from plucky into something softer, it becomes softer. And when you create like something plucky based on the soft signal, it becomes plucky. It's easy as hell. But when you combine this with more advanced technologies, it becomes much more expressive. And now altogether, what I have, I think this sounds not really good, but it's fine. I will open the initial project. So in the meanwhile, feel free to ask me questions because it will take a few minutes to open. Any questions?
I'm curious, what is your working process? Do you usually create in the live, like in the vertical mode or in the horizontal mode?
I'm a type of a person that always curious to work in different ways, so it depends. Sometimes I do that, but mostly I'm in vertical. It's called session view because it's easier to sketch here and then move to there, but it depends. Sometimes I just go because I have the whole idea inside my mind, so I go to arrangement view and quickly construct it instead of just playing around, so it depends. So let's start playing for a short beat. Who wants to suggest me which sound to use? Which type of sound? Anyone? We don't need the mic, I guess. Luz? I think you are about... Balloon. Let's start with balloon. We will start, if it's for balloon, let's start exploring because we haven't seen how this pathway works, and I want to emphasize this because those are more accessible instruments. Let's say Serum 2 is really expensive, and you, if you don't need it, don't buy it for sure, because sometimes you need less to create more, and when you have more tools to create things, you get messed up. So this works great, and this type of things inside Ableton are great. So let's just drop a balloon sample to here, and see, immediately we see that we have the picture of blues spectrogram inside here. And what I can do here, it says create a new layer to begin. And now it says draw with mouse to create a playback path. And let's say we need this round shape or we need a triangle shape. And I will create a triangle shape like this. And then I hit play on the project. And let's say we want a few voices, but we change the playback rate. You see now, I can draw more shapes on it, like this. And we can change the length of each grain, so-called. Now it works. And you see that they go here and there based on the lines that you have. And now it's on FFT mode, which means that it plays in a spectral mode. But I simply can go to the grain mode, which makes the same thing as granular. This is really interesting. So you can experiment loads. Let's say we add this shape. We add this shape. We can erase some stuff and then still it will play it. And we can have more voices, like 12 voices. Now different thing. And it gives you so many nice things to play with. It's endless. So you can easily then record the sounds, chunk it, do it again and again. This fun fact is that brings so many possibilities inside this type of things is that you can always stop. Let's say I have this now and create an empty MIDI clip. It doesn't matter. I think if we play it, it will play. And then there is a new thing inside Ableton called bounce to a new track. It's Command B, and I will just do this. And I had the audio feed, and then I can tweak. And let's say I can come and say, I'm bored of this sound. Let's completely erase everything here. And what I created based on this sound, I can drop it back to here and start experimenting further like this. So what we created, now it's inside here, and so I can create another shapes. This time let's create a simple line and then play it. Another shape. Less voices, maybe. As I told you, these type of things become really grainy easily. But still, there is so much to do, and let's transpose it down. We don't hear low frequencies here. Yep, that's it on the pass bass. Next sound, Kamancha. Let's go with Kamancha and explore the lota. This is also an interesting instrument. It's again, you see, we have similar technology, it's the same creator, but what we do here is purely spectral now. And instead of creating these lines of the playback in different frequencies and different angles, here you create shapes. And you can create multiple shapes from multiple frequencies, and they played all together. You see? If we want more high-pitched one.
Can you put out the width later on this?
I think you can change the direction, and this can be automated easily. And each of the chunk, I think we need the hand now. You see, you can select the direction of the playback for each one independently, and you can change the pitch of this each one independently, and you can modulate this type of stuff. Now we basically can create a whole track based on this. I want this one to go down an octave. Just with what sample, if I go further, I can create a generative music easily with this instrument, so it's really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to go deeper with each one. So next sound suggestion, Katarina, I think you should do it.
I was thinking about, I don't know how the word is in English, if we,
In Czech? Tell in Armenian. It's okay, I will translate.
I don't even know in Armenian.
I mean, which sound from this? Huh? We don't have any sound like this for now. We have a mic, but do we have any? I can easily record. That's not a big deal. Is that me or it's super hot? Because of all of us here. Okay, let me quickly record a bottle sound as Katarina suggested. Let me check. my audio. Check 1, 2. Okay, it works. Please keep a silence for a sec. It doesn't matter, it's just... My bad. Oh, we need more. That's it, that was not hard. And I will just select a portion and crop it. Yeah, and let's go to granulator now. This is what comes inside Ableton Live, and I think based on this water sound, we can only create some sort of textures. But I think we need to go cloud, so we have many grains playing all together. Let's say 20. I will randomize the position and add some variation. Let's hear it. If I go higher, this is not really pleasant, I would admit, but if we add this another granular effect on top of it, which will go on linked, this go +7, this go -5, let's say. More randomization on both. It's not really playable for now because it's a water sound, but you might still have an idea how this works. Again, the granular engines, if you see these lines going on back and forth, and a few ones stimulate at the same time, it simply means that the instrument is playing many samples at the same time with just chunked portions of it. The next sound, I think we will do serum and faceplant, or serum or cyclop, and we will finish. And yeah, of course.
The second granulator is free, but the third also.
They are not free. They come with Ableton Live Suite. So if you are in Suite, you go to your profile and download. It's called library packs. Ableton Live, like it's an 80 gigabytes of library pack that you download separately, but it's all inside. So you don't have to pay.
Thanks.
Next suggestion.
Duduk?
Duduk. We did Blul Baslav. Let's go Duduk. I think Serum is cool for this one, and let's combine Duduk with Paku. Let's go. That's something interesting. So I just bring Duduk and Paku, and yeah, the sounds before, we need to tune them, by the way, because there might be different notes. So we need to make them to sit down on C notes so we can make it playable. So this is the Duduk, and Paku might be like this. Yes, that's Paku. And imagine when you record the Paku just next to you, your ears are blasting. It's I think I will octave down Paku, so there is no this big difference with them, and I think we need to make it larger, and this one should go like this to see what's going on. I think I made it too large now. Come on. Okay, that's now better. So I can't do it with just one hand. Actually, you know what? I will just draw C3 note here. Tuk long one. The Paku is not It's played. It shouldn't be like this. Okay. Right now it's scanning as it's supposed to be with its original rate. But let's say I can say this granular engine scan 10%. This means it will scan the original sample 10 times slower. And we can basically randomize the length of each grain, the density, the pitch noise, the direction of each grain playback, offset of the positions. I sell one. We can randomize the of them, so they go left and right, and we can randomize the levels, so they become this cloudish. And there are like lots of hidden features inside Serum. Let's say I can easily right-click here and say BPM sync the density, which basically will create these grains based on the BPM, which is super cool. Or we can go say BPM sync the length of each grain. So this works great when working with rhythmical elements. And it has few modes of playback. And let's say if I don't need this scan here, like the way it is now, I can turn this one shot into manual. And this is where you can slide manually where the grain position came in. I think let's go to one shot for now, or like this forward reverse loop, doesn't matter. And let's bring in the Baku sound on top of it. I think I will adjust the length to be suitable. Something like this. Perfect. Let's hear it. Was cool already, but we should go, let's say, manual for this one. Actually, I will trim it. You see now it's stuck in one just cycle of spectral. And if I change this, now we manually scrub into the sample. And this is what makes those type of things really expressive. Let's say you have a MIDI controller or a keyboard of any type, and if it has an aftertouch, which simply means when you play a note and also like hit it harder after you played it, you have some sort of source of polyphonic modulation for each note, or you have this MP sensitive keyboard, such as like push trees pads, or there are like C boards or this kind of stuff. Or even if you use this modulation thingies with your keyboard, you can easily, let's say, we will connect this position now to macro, and not the macro, actually, I don't need the macro here. Remove. You see this one, this is the mod wheel, which is coming with every keyboard, so I can easily connect this, let's say, to this position. So we have an instrument that plays a straight note and then starts to tremolo it. So now I have this straight part, but once I want it to become tremolo, I just go there. And I can do this whenever I want. And I can do this when playing a chord, let's say, like this. Also, let's say I want to do the same modulation on the filter. I think, again, it's so hard to do this type of stuff with one hand. Come on, what happened? Okay. Now it's there, not this much. You see, I can easily bring in these tremolos whenever I want with just one hand. And if you are a proper player, if you know how to play, not like me, because I don't know how to play at all. I just know how things work musically, but I can't play it like good. You can do super crazy expressive things inside this type of, you need to learn lots. How things work, how modulators work, how these expressive tools work. but it's not really hard. Inside Ableton Live, there is this thing called expression control. Who knows this? If you don't know it, for sure you need to know it. This is one of the craziest tools inside Ableton Live. And yeah, in things like Serum or Faceplant, it's even further. You have all sorts of modulation. Let's say there are things called not on randoms inside Serum, which it has this crazy not on random discrete. So you can attach an incoming random position to any parameter which it's not coming, like all randomly going on, which makes things super expressive and variative. And yep, if combined these two, what's the sound now? And we can go like this. It works without no effects. And actually, I want to show you something that I think we left behind. Where? With Simpler? No. Okay, it's here with Cyclop. Okay, let's do Cyclop for a second and then I will finish. This one I will pick myself. Let's do cello sound. And what I will do, I will open this Cyclop. Just simply drag the cello sound to here and it asks which type of resynthesis you want. I always prefer the latest. I'm somehow always prefer the newest things, and actually it's more advanced. And you see now it also recalculated our sample into spectral layers, and when I play it, and what I like inside Cyclops that it has built in this audio rate modulation super fast. It's not really audio rate, I guess, but here I think we can't read it, but this one should be FM. You see? And you can easily modulate with any LFO, and inside this ecosystem you basically have the LFO shape which can be jittered, basically randomized, and then softened. So you have this soft randomized sinusoid now, and then I think we start from here, and I can add this LFO to this, let's say, boom. And we create lots of interesting stuff. What else I like to show you lastly is this strange modulator, which I tell you in the very beginning. So let's say we have this grain delay, which has this XY axis, where you can decide which parameters you want to touch. In this case, I attached the frequency one and the spray one. And if I go to the map, I can map X to frequency and Y to spray. So right now we will see that depending on where our thing is going, it's moving this thing based on it. So you will hear how it's different now. The effect, I mean. I think octave down should be better. We can also attach the Z position to, let's say, the pitch. This will make things atonal for sure, but I will play just not now. One note. Yep. I guess that's it for the demonstration and the whole thing. So give me your questions, please.
Thank you so much for this. This was really inspiring and really interesting. My question is for the person who is not very familiar with all of these things. Is there a plugin that you would recommend for like a beginner-friendly producer?
As I mentioned, I think once start with Ableton natives. This is easier to learn. Also, it has this info view thing that you can basically hover over anything and read it, what's doing it, and you can easily change the position, start learning by ear, read it, and yeah, inside Ableton Live's ecosystem is the easiest and the most beginner friendly. And what is also cool that you can look for Max for Live devices, and I think most of them are free, which are again easy to use as well. So if you want to learn, let's say, spectral synthesis or granular synthesis, you just find out these simple tools of the same type coming from Max for Live community.
Thank you.
You are welcome, and thank you for your nice words.
It seems everybody is now like want to use the moment to like freeze this memory so they will not forget. So that's why they are not asking any more questions. But I guess it's a really inspiring method to go with the folk instrument and trying to make it this cyber. So thank you very, very much. Thank you, everyone. And let's give one more applause to David and also to the Cyberfolk team in general, because they are doing a great job. Yeah, I mean, like, whatever you are doing, it's kind of like really changing like the whole ecosystem in Armenia. Same goes to Polygraph and whatever the initiatives that are coming. Thanks very much. And just repeating to keep an eye on hosq social media and knowing that August 2nd and 3rd, we are going to showcase Notations Lab laboratory works, which is there are some advanced users of Ableton too, and like Ableton is kind of like our mother tongue now here. So this is what we are experimenting, and this lecture was really, really to the point and very much needed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Շնորհակալություն. Lovely Neng.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing that I will pass all of the samples. I think we haven't created much of the sounds, but I will make sure to include a few presets as well on the coming days. So hosq will share it with you.
Okay, I don't know what to say besides of thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.